Well, we survived the weekend, and now we are starting to see some price action that's positive for a change. And it kind of feels as if we are at that point in this market where we are just waiting for the explosive move to happen. Now, I've been mentioning in the past couple, days or so that this market is kind of coiled up. If you've been a part of the Discord, the premium side, for an example, I did push a weekly market breakdown where I did address all of finance. We're not just talking about crypto, we're talking about stocks as well. The charts are coiled up, waiting for a big move to the upside. And once that does happen, that is going to be our official start of the biggest wave of this market. Now, we are going to talk about that in this video. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. So listen, there is some very positive price action across the board when it comes to crypto right now. We're still hovering around a $3.2 trillion market cap. So we're not up tremendously or anything like that. But if we do look at the last 24-hour span across the board, we are seeing some nice gains. It's nothing crazy just yet, and most of these moves, let's just be honest here, are a bounce back from the lows. For example, Litecoin is up about 12.5% on the 1 day, but if we look at the 7 day or even the 1 month, right, the 1 month is a little bit more clearer here, but if we zoom out, we can see that these things are just bouncing back off of these lows that we saw back in roughly the beginning of the month. So now, as we really kind of anticipate these charts to actually officially have their breakout, that's going to take us to the next level, which will ultimately be the next wave up, followed by a potential retest of a nice support zone before the next big move to retest the 2021 all-time highs. Very similar to, these moves back here where it's kind of like steps to the upside. That's exactly what we are watching right now. We're just watching the beginning stages of that on majority of these charts. Now, again, when it comes to like XRP, for example, XRP only up about roughly like 1.6% today. This is the 7 day and this is the 1 month. Again, these altcoins, most of them are still down significantly from their previous highs. And they're just waiting, right? They're waiting for something to happen. Here's the 1 year on HBAR. Here's the 1 year on Algorand. Here's the 1 year on even SUI. I mean, we're just kind of chopping against those lows, waiting for a big bounce back. But that's not going to happen until we start to see Bitcoin playing, its role here. And that role is to actually break over the previous highs. So mainly what we want to do is take out 100K. Regaining 100K will be a big step in the right direction. After that, we move above 105K. Then we move above 110K. Like 110K is the target on the upward swing to create a new higher high, but also all-time high. Now, outside of Bitcoin, like I said, the top 500 is witnessing some nice strong gains. We are seeing some nice gains across the board. For an example, like Solo, doing very well today. Last 24 hours up about almost 27%. Corium also up about 3%. Again, some of these altcoins, they are making good gains. Like Sologenic has been doing very good. If we look at the 1 month though, I mean, this is what I mean, right? Like this is what I'm trying to, tell you guys is like, most of these gains that we're seeing, like when we think about XRP right now, it's very easy to say, well, XRP is doing absolutely nothing on the last like 7 days or even the last 1 month. And we look at these altcoins like, Sologenic in the last 7 days or even the last 1 day up 27%. We're like, well, why isn't XRP moving like that? Well, if we zoom out, you can kind of see that these altcoins are still down significantly. I mean, even XRP, it's down about 2.4%. But Solo's down about 15.28%, which this is why it's a top gainer in the last 24 hours. So we still need Bitcoin to do its thing, followed by Ethereum taking the lead. Here we have Bitcoin's chart. Now, I told you guys yesterday, I told you guys in the update yesterday that we want to hold this low. We don't want to lose this 89 point roughly 3K. We didn't really target it at all in the last day. I mean, we got as low as like 94.8K. This caused a little bit of panic, right? Like a lot of people were kind of like, all right, well, that's it. This is the move. We're going to target, 91K, and then, we're going to target this low. But as you guys can see, nothing really happened. this is our additional low, followed by, of course, our, low here. So we're starting to see some nice, higher lows being formed here. And I can kind of fix this a little bit. We're starting to see some nice higher lows being created here on the Bitcoin price chart. What I personally would love to see is some nice higher highs. Okay. And, like I said, we do have to take out 100K first, which is this nice wick here that we rejected off of, right? You guys can kind of see how strong this area is to really kind of bounce over. We need to clear 100K. After we clear 100, K, you could argue that 102K is the next big level, because we even see it back here in like the beginning of January. It did kind of fight it a bit, even back here before the upward swing to like 108K back in the middle of December. We're kind of fighting this level. So we could argue that this is also another level that we need to clear. And then after that, there's some resistance up here around like 105K or so, but the ultimate goal here is just clearing the previous highs. So we want to take out the high from, the last previous high, before this January 20th candle. But this the full focus. Anywhere up here, we're going to start to see a lot of resistance, right? Like this is where most of the resistance really is. And I know it's a big gap, right? Like this is a big gap area. But this is what we really want to clear. All of these other additional highs down here, like, these are significant levels. There's significant resistance there, but the main goal is just clearing these previous highs. So far, structure-wise on Bitcoin, though, it's looking pretty good. I mean, we have on this chart where we have actually closed right around roughly 96.4K. So we're holding this as support, which is very good to see, because we held it as support back here as well in the middle of December. We held it back here in the beginning of December, the end of November. So far, this is our strong support area. We do not want to lose this. We want to maintain these lows. We don't want to lose these lows. We don't want to go lower than these lows. And if we actually look at this, right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 daily candles where we actually closed at around the 96.4K roughly zone. So this is now going to be basically our floor. We don't want to lose this. If anything, we could chop here for a little bit of time. I'm totally fine with that, before we get that continuation to the upside, where we do, potentially reject from, resistance back down to this level, chop a little bit before we continue upward. It doesn't really matter, right? The whole focus here is just maintaining bullish structure. And so far, Bitcoin has a lot of bullish structure formed here, which is very good to see. But like I said, along with Bitcoin, we want to see Ethereum do its thing. And you guys might be saying, well, why are we talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum when, you have XRP, you have HBAR, you have Algorand, and all these altcoins in the, title? It's because in order for all of these altcoins, in order for the entire, altcoin market to do very well, we need Bitcoin and Ethereum to do its thing. It's the phases of Altseason that we are following here. Now, one thing that I will ask all of you out there watching, whenever we see a significant sell-off in this market, what's the biggest argument for it? Why did it happen? We always hear Wall Street is manipulating the market. That's what we always hear. Ethereum is trading at levels that we have yet to see since going all the way back here to the beginning of November, prior to the substantial run-up on Bitcoin and on XRP and on most of the altcoin market. Ethereum also wicked to lows that we haven't seen since going back to September of 2024. I say this because Ethereum is extremely undervalued in my opinion. It's oversold, it's undervalued, and during this time, okay, check this out. Breaking. Ethereum. Speculators have built the largest Ethereum short position in history. Guys, when I look at this, combined with the fact that Ethereum is oversold, it's undervalued, all I can think about is massive short squeeze incoming. That means that if this does happen, Ethereum could quickly move over 53% to clear the March highs and quickly target the all-time highs from 2021, which would be an 82% move from here. But I don't believe that that's where it's going to stop, considering the fact that this is a massive amount of short positions. And if these start to get liquidated, it's going to be a cascading event. At the same exact time, what am I focused on? Ethereum dominance that just hit a low going all the way back to May of 2020. This chart is waiting for a substantial reversal. If I showed you this chart on the inverted scale, you would be saying this thing looks topped out and it looks ready to crash massively. But that's the thing. If we reinvert it, it's technically a pump to the upside. I'm expecting Ethereum to soon take the lead in this market over Bitcoin. And talking more so about that, Bitcoin dominance, the big thing that I've been mentioning over the last couple of days is the fact that I do believe that this thing is at or close to its top. And the reason why I say that is look at the daily chart right now. Look at how we're chopping here. Let's go all the way back here to 2021. Guys, the initial top for Bitcoin dominance was very similar to this, right? Where we kind of chopped, we had another move to the upside, and then this was our topping point for Bitcoin dominance around January 3rd of 2021 before it completely sold off. Now, there was a lot of chop within this before it did completely, sell off in a massive way, but I do believe that we are in that stage where momentum is dying down for Bitcoin dominance, and I do believe that Ethereum is about to take the lead. I'm watching this level closely that we're kind of trading on, 61.5%, because this is major resistance, and we could technically move this up just slightly. This is major resistance that has now been flipped into support. We lose this on Bitcoin dominance, and I do believe that this thing sells off in a big way to at least retarget a supply zone. That supply zone is down here at around like 58%. So that's going to be a pretty big drop if Bitcoin is going to continue to 100K plus, because this is roughly a it's like 4 to almost 5% of a total drop on Bitcoin dominance. That's enough to actually push altcoins significantly higher, which does mean that XRP and HBAR and Algorand and SUI, all these charts will most likely be retargeting their previous highs on these charts. And in that case, XRP, $3 and like 30 some cents. In terms of HBAR, it's about 40 cents. SUI, let's go back to SUI, it's about roughly $5 and like 24 cents. Algorand, it's about roughly 51.5 cents. So again, these altcoins have a lot of upside, potential right now. But the big thing to focus on is still Bitcoin dominance. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, yes, I did update the Discord. I updated the Discord regarding how everything is coiled up. Because if we look at Bitcoin, listen, Bitcoin is coiled up. If we look at the 3-day, this thing is just waiting for a substantial move to the upside. Ethereum is also coiled up on the macro, as you guys can see. Like, if we zoom out on this, this thing is just doing sideways, chop in a substantial way. Listen, to the upside, this is like an 89.9, let's just say it 90%, right? It's a 90% move to the upside. It's roughly a 48% move to the downside. So if we're thinking about that, right, Ethereum has been chopping within this range for a bit of time, and it's not like a small chop zone. No, this thing is a substantial, chop zone, but it's just been waiting for something to happen, right? We're doing this on a macro, stage, waiting for something like this, where Ethereum finally does break out. And when we think about that, right, we look at the rest of the financial markets. We look at the S&P 500, which is also chopping right now. It's in a nice zigzag pattern here where it's kind of doing this sideways, waiting to break over those all-time highs. Same with the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is in a very similar position where it's just chopping diagonally, waiting for that move over the previous all-time highs. And even the Dow Jones is in a little bit of a different, pattern. But again, we're still chopping against all-time highs here, waiting for the big break. So everything is kind of coiled up against resistance, just waiting to break over it. And if we're thinking about that with those short positions on Ethereum, with how Bitcoin dominance looks right now, I would argue that alt season is still brewing right now in the, back end. And we're just waiting for that short squeeze to happen on Ethereum, which does push it significantly higher, usurping a lot of dominance away from Bitcoin. And while Ethereum is doing that, I do suspect that a lot of altcoins are going to move tremendously to the upside, because while Bitcoin dominance does drop, while Ethereum takes the lead, I also think that, Bitcoin is going to start to move above 100K plus, retargeting 100 and almost 10K, and then going to 120K plus. And during that entire time, like I said, that should be our alt season. That should be the biggest wave of this cycle. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.